Hello, my friends, and welcome. Today is another thrift store flip trash to treasure makeover video, and boy, do I have some pretty neat upcycles for you. I have picked up this, what would you call it, an urn. I assume it had a lid at one point or another because I kind of recall seeing it somewhere before, but I picked it up for $2 at our local thrift store, and obviously the colors were not working for me, so I decided to paint them. I have been on a roll using chalk paint lately, mixing colors, and this time I will be using Athenian black, the white original, as well as Paris gray. So my base coat is the old white or the original by any Sloan. You do not have to use any Sloan paint. You can use any chalk paint, and I'm pretty sure you could even use acrylic paint. So I give this a fairly decent coverage. Probably not getting into all the nooks and crannies, but making it almost like my base coat. So you want it to be the most of it on this piece. Also want to mention that today's video is part of a Flippin' Friday that is hosted every month by Jamie from Border Bananas. Now Jamie has two channels, Border Bananas as well as Border Bananas DIY, and I will have both of her channels as well as the playlist for this collaboration or challenge linked in the description box. So make sure you head on over and check those out after you are done watching my video. So now that I have finished painting this white, I do not wait for it to dry. I want it to be wet as it can be, and I go gently over it with the Paris gray. Now the camera is really not picking up the color, but it is showing up quite a bit on to a natural eye. But and I'm not trying to cover the whole thing, just certain areas, and like I said, very light brushing. Now I move on to Athenian black, which in any Sloan is the blacker black. The graphite is more of a gray color, but this one is a deep black color. And this time around I'm using the smaller brush, and I'm just going into all the little nooks and crannies with it. So if this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. My name is Sonja, and I have several channels as well. This is my DIY channel, where you will find tons of trash to treasure thrift flips as well as furniture makeovers, sprinkled in with some dollar store DIYs. So if this is something that interests you, I would love it if you considered becoming part of my YouTube family and pressing the notification bell as well as the red button to subscribe, and notification bell so you're notified when I do post. I post about 3 times a week, sometimes a bit more if I really want to participate in a certain challenge. But that why it's important to have that notification bell on so you don't miss when those random uploads do show up. And my other channels are Home, where I do lots of cleaning and decorating, and I also have a cooking channel, and I have just recently started my vlogging channel because I was feeling that that was the part that was missing in my life. So I decided to share a bit more of myself with you and my dogs and just life in, Ontario, Canada. So if you feel adventurous and want to check those out, please head on over. They are in a description box. So now, as you can see, I took a rag. So I had applied all the paints on top of wet. So I didn't wait for any of them to dry. And now I am blending everything up with just a lint-free rag. And I absolutely love the effect that this had given to the little pot. I think it kind of accented certain areas that were really accented otherwise, and it gave it a lot of depth and dimension and a lot of texture. So like I said, I am extremely pleased with the way this worked out. Now I have seen similar pots with peonies hanging over or even roses hanging over out of it, and I think it's just a beautiful addition to my decor. I have plopped a little wooden sphere in it, and I think it looks great. For my next project, I have had this round piece of, I think it's MDF. It came in a bag, one of those grab bags at a thrift store with a whole bunch of other stuff. And I wasn't sure what to do with it. And then I thought of using it, creating a tray. So I will be using Rust-Oleum Cocoa paint, which is a very kind of brownish reddish paint. I also have these round circles that I had picked up at your dollar store and more, and I will be using those as feet. And then I'm going to use also several different wax just to add a little bit more color to the tray. So I'm taking these round circles and just gluing two together just to give it a little bit of height. And then I'm going to take them and glue them onto the bottom of the tray. I am looking forward to starting some summer DIYs, kind of finishing up with spring, but I'm still gonna do a lot of these general DIYs, upcycles, but maybe styling them more for the summer rather than spring, since we've had spring now in our DIY world for a while, and it's important to give you guys some summer ideas so you're ready to hit the ground running when the summer does come. Now I give this piece a solid coverage of paint. As you can see, it does have to me anyway, a lot of red tinge to it. So it's not, to be honest with you, it's not my favorite color, but with the waxes, it ends up looking pretty close to the look that I was going for. I also paint the feet. I probably should have done this first before I painted the top, but you know me, always doing things backwards. So now that the piece had dried, I am going to use a black wax by Annie Sloan and just a lint-free rag, and I'm just going to rub it in. That's all I'm doing. And I repeat the exact same process with the white wax. I do not wait in between the waxes to cure. I go straight ahead and apply the white wax. So I do love the way this looks now. It gave it a bit more texture. Now I am moving on to applying some design. I ran out of painter's tape, and I would have to order it and do a curbside pickup. So I just decided to try and freehand these. So that is what I'm doing. So I am applying the width of my medium paintbrush, sponge paintbrush, of white Annie Sloan or old white Annie Sloan, and just go slow and build it up if you're gonna freehand it. Otherwise, it would be a lot more simpler if you just had painter's tape taped up the areas that you did not want to paint. And like I said, less is more, I always say, so go with less, and then you can always build up so that way your lines stay straight. For the next line, I am using just a regular size paintbrush in the width, the sponge paintbrush, and I do the same process. And then I finish it off with a very thin line, and this one is, I'm just using a makeup brush that I have here for crafting. So I do think that my lines came out pretty straight. Now I'm going to let this piece dry completely before I take my sanding block and just rough it up a little bit. I'm not trying to sand off anything, just make it look like it's been there for a while. This was such an easy makeover, very inexpensive makeover. I think this worked out to about 10 cents. And here it is without nothing on it. And I decided to use it on my fireplace and added several items to it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to press that subscribe button. Make sure you check out both of Jamie's channels as well as the playlists that are linked down below. And until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching.